This is the Critical Conversations podcast, a KPOV special project developed to feature unique perspectives and the courage it takes to go there, challenge mundane thought, and question the norm.
Via Zoom with us is Andy Rhine, owner and general manager of Cascade Lakes Brewing. Welcome back to the Wednesday Point, Andy, and thank you for your time this morning. I know you are in the midst of setting up a store for merchandising.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Luis and JC. It's great to talk with you this morning.
So you and Cascade Lakes have been in the media a lot lately. Before we get into your new not-for-profit status, let's start with a little bit about you and your family's ownership of Cascade Lakes. When did your family purchase Cascade Lakes?
We bought in the fall of 2018, so it's been a little bit over 4 years. We've lived in the area since 2000. My siblings and I all graduated from Ben High, so we were longtime fans of Cascade Lakes Brewing. I was really into home brewing, getting out of college in the first few years out of it. So we just saw the opportunity to move back to Central Oregon, make a positive impact on Central Oregon, and pursue my passion for home brewing. So that's how we wound up with Cascade Lakes.
So Cascade Lakes is actually one of the oldest breweries in Central Oregon. When did Cascade Lakes actually open?
It was founded in 1994.
1994. Wow. That's a while. And was it your passion for home brewing that actually got the family interested in the ownership of the business?
Yeah. I homebrewed for a few years and, we'd visit a bunch of different breweries. We were actually planning to partner with a family friend out in central Pennsylvania. My folks, before they relocated to Central Oregon, they're from Pennsylvania. But when we were back in Bend for a friend's wedding, we learned of the opportunity of Cascade Lakes Brewing and just, couldn't pass up on the opportunity to relocate the family back to Central Oregon.
So I have to ask, are you still a home brewer?
I wish I was. I don't have, I've just gotten so busy that I don't have quite enough time, as much time as I'd like for that. But no, I still enjoy it. Still enjoy home brew. I just don't get around to it as much as I used to.
So did you or your family have any kind of a background in the hospitality industry?
We didn't, but when we bought in, we had a business partner who knew the industry well and knew that side of the business. And then since then, we've hired some really great people to oversee the restaurant side of the business. And we think they're doing a great job.
That's great. Yeah, that's not an easy thing to take on. So kudos. I saw that.
Thank you. Yeah. And then the whole pandemic,
Oh, yeah, there was that.
Yeah.
I saw that one of your main missions on your website is to provide high-quality craft beers to the community. So how can you tell when a beer is of high quality besides it just giving you a headache? And what are your benchmarks for quality control?
Well, shortly after we bought into the business, we feel like we hired a really great team. Our brewmaster, Ryan was with Deschutes Brewing, one of Central Oregon's longest breweries, actually the oldest brewery in Central Oregon. He was there for 15 years, and then our packaging manager, Joel Boswell, was at Deschutes for 21 years, and our lead brewer, Matt Henias, was there for 18 years. And between the three of them, they've really taken a lot of the practices and the teachings that they learned from Deschutes and applied them to Cascade Lakes. So over the past 4 years through their work, I think we've really improved and met a standard of great quality beer that's that can be found so frequently here in Central Oregon.
So you currently have your main brewery in Redmond and 2 brew pubs, soon to be 3. Tell us about this new venture that will join the pubs in Bend and Redmond.
Yeah, so we're opening a third restaurant, third brew pub on the southeast side of Bend. In April of next year. It's something we've been wanting to do for a really long time because I grew up in Sun River, and then when we all went to Ben High, lived out east of town, and that was before there was Eastside 10 Barrel or Worthy, and so many other dining restaurants out there. And it's still, that's where Ben's set to grow, and there's still a lot of opportunity out there. So we're really excited, and again, excited to have like such a great team of, our director of hospitality, Jesse Lurson, our director of culinary operations, Jeff Kelly. They're and all the people on our team. We think we can do something really special out there. It'll be a 2-story brew pub with a rooftop bar with a great view of the 7 central Cascades. It'll have a patio and a lawn area. So yeah, we're really excited.
Okay, so let's get down to the real reason that we're talking to you today. October 4th of this year, Cascade Lakes declared themselves Central Oregon's first and only not-for-profit brewery. What the heck does that mean?
It basically declares our mission to donate all of our proceeds to local nonprofits and to expand our benefits package for our employees. And basically, we're striving for above average compensation, kind of a similar model to Bob's Red Mill.
Oh, right.
And yeah, so that's our goal. And yeah.
How does the status differ from a 503 nonprofit entity?
So we're not. We're not a charity. So if anybody is looking to donate money to us, we kindly ask them to donate to one of our 501c3 partners. But it does mean that we will be allocating all of our proceeds to non-ownership. So whether that be employees or our nonprofit partners.
So why was this decision made to declare this not-for-profit status? I mean, wasn't Cascade Lakes already a most generous supporter of the community?
Well, coming out of COVID, the opportunity for more philanthropic activities grew, and we just saw how meaningful it was to the community to benefit our nonprofit partners as much as we could. And then, we also recently brought on health insurance for our team here, and we just felt so rewarded by making those actions that we wanted to make it our direction. When my family and I bought into the company, it wasn't really financially motivated. It was more to try to get back to our home and to have a positive impact on the home that's meant so much to us. It just feels like in cementing that as our mission and as our purpose of doing business, I think it just kind of brought why we do what we do, to a full circle. So we're really motivated, to have the best impact on the local community as we can. So yeah. Sorry, droning on and on a little bit.
No, that's just quite all right. We love guests that talk. So you mentioned, Andy, health insurance. Is that unusual in the hospitality industry?
I don't know. I know it's difficult for small private companies to afford. But everybody's private, so there's not a lot of public data out there about that. But I know Cascade Lakes was around for 27 years and didn't have health insurance, so I know it's tough to get to and tough to afford. So
Andy, how has the experience of being a non-for-profit been? What are the obstacles, and do you see this as a future model for the brewery industry?
So it's been a great experience. A lot of positive feedback from the local community, and it's opened our doors to a lot more philanthropic opportunities. For example, we're in the works of developing something with Habitat for Humanity. We're planning on donating 10 cents per can sold of our 20-inch brown starting next spring to Deschutes Land Trust. We've become corporate sponsors of Central Oregon Trail Association and so on. So it's been, a great start. We're only, I think, a month and a half to maybe 2 months into it. So it's still a little bit new territory for us, but we're really excited. It's hard to say whether or not this will be, a model for more breweries to follow. I know a lot of private independent business owners are, everybody's trying to get back up on their feet after COVID. It was very challenging for everyone involved in the space. So I'm sure most folks are taking it day by day, and the long-term planning is probably, by quarter right now, where it probably used to be by a year or 3 years. So,
well, I guess that's better than day to day like it was during COVID, right?
Yeah, I hope it's to that level. I don't really know. I feel like I've been so deep into my own work that I haven't been able to check the pulse of everyone else around me in a little bit.
So you mentioned some of the charities that you've helped. How do you select those causes that you're interested in helping? And tell us a little bit more about those partnerships.
We try to support local first and foremost, and then also, causes that we think are really close to our brand and our product. So, as you know, Luis, we do a lot with dogs and beer because a lot of people like those two things, and those are pretty easy for people to get behind. So yeah, things that we can do fun events around. So we are working on kind of tightening it up. We've kind of found animal welfare, sort of protecting and helping our local environment through the Deschutes Land Trust and through Oregon Hunters Association and Central Oregon Trail Alliance. Trails and beer, dogs and beer. Those are two things that are pretty synonymous and people support. So and we also, last thing is we try to support what is meaningful to our employees. So we try to advocate to our team to let us know if there's anything they'd like us to donate to, anything that they're a part of, and we typically support those wholeheartedly. Just
ballpark figure, what is your estimate that you will be donating to charities on an annual basis?
Through the past 4 years, we've donated roughly $100,000 to local nonprofits, and obviously now that we've moved to a not-for-profit, we expect that to grow. We hope that will grow as we, as a company, grow. Adding a third restaurant is pretty huge for us. We think we have a really great sales team that we expect to, do a lot more with. So I hope that sort of $25,000 a year is just a base number for us to grow off of.
When your family purchased Cascade Lakes, you set out on a mission to balance commerce and community. What does that mean?
So we are still a business, so we have to keep the lights on and still have to make sales to afford to run the business. But we also wanted to have it. Craft beer is community to us. That was a huge reason why we bought into the company. So we want to, we love to support local events that we mean to us. Myself and some of my family members are big runners. So we support a lot of running races, including the Bend Marathon. We love dogs. So setting up, pups on the patio, doing the Positive Pale Ale. The fact that we can do that through a company that we own and we're a part of is something really special.
And you just mentioned the Positive Pale Ale, so I was going to ask, your support of Brightside Animal Center in Redmond goes back for years. You have even brewed this special beer for them for 3 years in a row. Can you talk to us more about those dollars and where they've gone from Cascade Lakes?
Yeah, so we work with Brightside Animal Center in a pretty big way. Luis is kind enough to call our weekly bingo. And I think Luis shared that we raised $11,000 or $12,000 through our bingo for them this past year.
Just shy of 12,000.
Sorry. Yeah, so it's really special to be a part of that. We also do a big Pups on the Patio event for them, something that we're hoping to grow and expand upon. And I believe most recently Brightside used the funds to repair and renovate the dog shelters themselves, sort of the large outdoor cages. I know those were wearing down as of a year or so ago. So that's where I believe the dollars went to. So it's a really important and meaningful thing to be a part of.
So, Andy, I heard you in a previous interview say that this move has relit your fire. What does that mean? Relit my fire? Yes.
Yeah, I think just like what I was saying earlier, it really cements why we're in business on a daily business and what we're trying to do when we go to work every day. I felt like through COVID, it was kind of just like try to make it to the next day. So this is something that's a lot more exciting to get behind, and just brings a sense of purpose to us.
So where can our listeners go to find out more information on Cascade Lakes?
They're more than welcome to visit our website at www.cascadelakes.com. We also post a lot about what we're doing in the community through our social media, which is at Cascade Lakes Brewing Co. On Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And then, of course, if you're local, we'd love to see you at one of our pubs. Our Bend Pub is one of the last roundabouts on your way up to the mountain, and then 7th Street in Redmond shares a parking lot with the local Fred Meyer.
Only in Bend would you give somebody directions by the last roundabout on the way to the mountain. And Andy, thank you so much for your time this morning.
You've been listening to a KPOV Critical Conversation. To hear more engaging interviews on important topics, please visit kpov.org/criticalconversations.